Keep it going for everyone y'all saw tonight. Thank you all for coming out. Congratulations on surviving your snowstorm. You might think I'm talking shit. No, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'm from Portland. We can't handle snow. We can't. You know what we did in my city? When they told us a storm was coming, it never showed up. But all of my city bought all of the kale from all the grocery stores, which sounds like something I made up for a joke. No, we 100% ripped all the kale out of the shelves, which, one, I don't understand because I'm a fat dude, but two, that's not cold weather food, right? Like, you don't want to go trudging through snow, then come inside and be like, oh, here's a nice rigid salad to warm you up. Doesn't make any sense. Portland's no good in the snow whatsoever. Here's how bad Portland does in the snow. A couple storms back, it got so bad that our mayor came out on the news and he said he was going to put together a committee to look into and investigate the effects of salt. Salt. Now do you see what it does to us? It reduces us to basically a first-year civilization that doesn't understand basic table seasonings. We have a Skytram, but we don't know what the fuck salt does in Portland. It's very backwards. I actually thrive in cold weather. I do great in cold weather because the colder it gets outside, the more sexually confident I become. Yeah, through the rest of the year, I might be a fat, schlubby dude. When it gets cold, heat source right here. I spend every winter making direct eye contact with pretty ladies sitting next to skinny boyfriends. Shout out to the front row. Because you tell me what sounds better when it gets chilly outside. You want to lay down next to a rattling bag of sticks? Wouldn't you much rather submerge in a warm tub of spicy gravy? Don't that sound good for all of y'all right now? What, you just want to be in bed with a shivering chihuahua whose shaking Greater-like rib cage is going to strip the epidermis from your gorgeous body? Does it not sound better for you to place yourself upon a warm and sentient human love seat that has the ability to simultaneously recite poetry and finger bang? Don't it sound good? Like if it were cold outside, would that not be better in that weather? It's good to see y'all. Oh, shout out to the sponsor, Mary Mart. More than marijuana. So meth, right? That's what that's about? Is that not a blue M, Heisenberg? I'm not trying to out y'all. It's just like a code thing. Just make that's the code word. You go in there like, yo, can I get more than marijuana? It's good to be up here. I just got back from my first trip to Texas. Yeah, I was there for a week, and while there I subsisted on a diet of tacos and accidentally eating bugs. Are there Texas folk in here? Clap your hands. How come you don't talk about the bugs more? Because my whole life, that state's been represented as cowboys, steer. This is beef country. Nah, mostly bugs. It's further from an old western scene and closer to a child's face on a UNICEF commercial. That's what... all this bullshit about cowboys, pun intended. I was there for 7 days. I saw maybe 12 cows. I got bit by 450 million mosquitoes. The University of Texas mascot should be a bottle of calamine lotion. It wasn't all bad. I actually loved it there. I had a beautiful cultural experience there because 7 days in Texas made me feel more in touch with and more proud of my Mexican heritage than I have at any other point in my life. Yes, absolutely, which is beautiful, but also weird because I'm Samoan. So, hashtag stolen valor, does that apply in this? Here's how it happened. I was at a dope bar that gave out free tacos. Then my homeboy Louie bought me a bunch of tequila. Next thing I knew, I was Googling the true meaning of Cinco de Mayo with tears in my eyes. Slamming shots and yelling out shit like, Viva la raza! And I don't know what that means, so... Please respect my journey at this transitional period of my life. I was in Austin, to be specific, and Austin's an amazing city, and it's Portland's sister city. We both have the same slogan. Portland and Austin both say, keep it weird, we need to stop, because Austin is weirder than Portland. Because Austin is like, if you combine the weird culture of Portland with the weird culture of fucking Texas! It is juxtapositions abound. When I was in Austin, I went to a Whole Foods that had a gun section. An organic gun section. Where you can purchase a 12 gauge that shoots buckshot made of flax seeds. I saw a Ford F-150 truck jacked up, dually tires in the back, and of course adorning the rear window, the Calvin Pink sticker. That's what goes there. But it was Austin, so Calvin was sitting down to pee. And instead of a Chevy logo, he's peeing on Hobbs in a Gimp mask. Well, Hobbs is peeing on the words kink shaming. I used to think Portland was weird. I've been there for 20 plus years. The whole time I'm walking around, yeah, we're a weird city, right? We got beards and unicycles and donuts covered in stale cereal that idiots wait in line for. We're a weird city. We're not weird. You know what that shit is? That is quirky. Portland is quirky, but Austin is weird. Because when I was in Austin, I saw a man in a MAGA hat and a Confederate flag shirt ask someone what their preferred pronouns are. That person replied, partner. Austin is the strangest fucking place I've ever been. That was a highlight of my year. I had some bad stuff happen last year, though. I lost a job last year. I got fired from Winco. Yeah, that might be a win or a loss. Yeah, when I tell this joke at places that don't have Winco, I just explain it by saying that Winco is where you can find a bunch of bruised fruit being sold to bruised families. Like that's, oh, gonna get worse. Pull it together. Yeah, I worked in the deli section at a Winco in the worst neighborhood in Portland, which if you're familiar with Winco, that I didn't have to tell you that. And so, but mine was bad. My Winco was so bad, it was at the point of its existence just before it turns into a plasma center, which is the natural evolutionary chain of a Winco. You want an idea of what working in a deli in that Winco is like? Basically, if you'd have wanted a turkey wrap platter within 6 blocks of a hooker, I was your guy. You want to crunch your way across a meth pipe-laden parking lot so you watch a black plastic spoon sink into and break the hard yellow skin on an overly mayonnaise bow tie pasta salad? I used to be at the other end of that spoon. If you'd have wanted ham, they got ham. They fired me on some racist shit too. Because apparently that Winco takes issue if you're a brown man who only shows up for half his scheduled shifts. Which according to when I filed unemployment is racism. They had a way better reason they could have fired me though, it's just no one found out. One day I was working the counter, this guy comes up, he asked for 3 breast pieces of chicken, and at that very moment, I found out that I don't know the difference between the breast and the thigh piece of chicken. Fuck off, all right? I'm not a veterinarian, okay? This has never come up. Here's how I've been divvying up chicken parts my whole life. Wing, drumstick, the big ones, and that worked out fine. Worked perfectly okay up until this point when this asshole showed up to my work trying to expose me in front of everybody. Had to think on my feet, get myself out of that situation. Using 2 techniques. The first of which, just hovering. Just let the tongs explore that space. You take that move and you combine it with just intense eye contact. Come on, man. Lock souls with me right now. Give me this information so I can get you this chicken. 80% of communication is nonverbal. Let's do this shit. Just standing there like two poker players trying to figure out each other's chicken tails. I felt super confident when I interviewed for this Winco job because the manager there had way shittier teeth than I do. Now, I don't know if there's any law in the books regarding this scenario, but don't I just get the job if that's what's going on? A job interview is you trying to assess whether or not I'm responsible enough to work for the company that made you a manager. And if we're talking proof of responsibility, check the fucking resume, son. I'm missing too, by the way. Still the teeth champion of that job interview, hands down. Before I go on, I just want y'all to know, I don't come up here looking to hurt anyone's feelings. And if you're in the crowd and you got dental issues and that last joke made you not feel good about yourself, I don't want that to happen at all. I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, I get your fucking job too! Clean out your locker after this show, stabber jaws. Another reason I felt real confident in that Winco interview is because before that, I worked for 10 plus years as a CNA. If you're not familiar, it's like being a janitor, but for the human body. And I just didn't feel like after a decade plus time in nursing homes and hospitals under intense pressure that a Winco would have anything that would shake me. And it came up in the interview too. The dude asked me through his jagged mouth, he asked me, he said, can you describe the worst day you've ever had at work and how you dealt with it? I was like, all right, crack a lantern. It's a good thing you're sitting down. I'll tell you what, this is multiple choice. It could be A, the day I had to fight a drug addict off the nurse he was trying to assault. Or B, the day I had to sit 16 hours straight, one-on-one with a lady whose dementia would cause her to forget that her husband died, but then she'd remember it every couple hours or so and experience the grief all over again. Or it could be C, the day I had to give CPR to a child, and it didn't work. Now that you know all of these things about me and what I've been through, are you left with the impression that I can handle a supermarket level of stress in the workplace? Fucking maybe, do you think? Yeah, homeboy felt the same way. He was just pale, quivering behind his desk. Then finally he says, through his favela of a mouth, he says to me, he says, would you be okay using the meat slicer? And I was like, yeah, bitch, I think I got meat slicer at this point. I think I'm in a place emotionally right now where I can step up to your meat slicer. Thank you very much. Go fetch me my apron. Another bad thing that happened to me last year was I got hit by a car. I know, I was there. It was a rainstorm. There's this giant puddle in a crosswalk. I went to step around it stupidly without looking, because the minute I set foot in the road, the vehicle struck me from behind, knocking me into the very puddle I was trying to circumnavigate. I learned two things that night. First one, don't avoid your problems. The second thing I learned is I'm invincible. Because I was fine. I got feeling perfectly okay. Better than okay, stronger than before the car hit me. It absorbed the strength of 400 horses with the impact. I was a day into trying to quit smoking, but I ran and got a pack of American Spirits right away after that happened. Because what are your little punk-ass carcinogens gonna do to a body that a Toyota Tundra couldn't stop earlier that evening? I went to a lady friend's house the next night. 2 days later, my neck hurt from performing cunnilingus, but not from getting hit by a car. Because I'm a juggernaut and a generous lover. That or I was doing it wrong. One of the two. She had a really small room. The point is I was unharmed. I just got up and I went right over to the car to check on those who had hit me. And And that was the right thing to do because they were not doing well at all. I don't know what race they were before their vehicle struck me, but the minute that door opened, everyone inside ghost white. It was pale and ghastly in there. But of course it was. They have every right to be afraid. Think of what they just went through. All right, first they hit someone with their car. That is scary. Scarier than that is when that someone rises back up out of an ankle-deep puddle like some sort of rainwater leviathan, shambles over to their car and just starts knocking slowly and ominously upon the window. Once they finally open it, this is what's waiting for them on the outside? Yeah, they have every right to be afraid. We just established that their car can't hurt me. What if I want to hurt the car, though? I do have the hair and body type of E Honda from Street Fighter 2. At this point in the story, I'm only 1,000 hand slaps away from busting that shit down to the frame. Once I finish off the car, I can just go skipping down the block to find a warehouse where I can start kick smashing barrels to my heart's content. Or until I hear someone yell out, "Perfect!" The point I'm trying to make is if any of you here feel bad about yourself, go get hit by a car. Ever since it happened to me, I felt physically stronger, more confident in myself as a person, and dare I say, I look more handsome. Should get in on this. After this show, let's go get on some black hoodies and start zigzagging in these streets. Side note, we're not all gonna make it. Based on my research, this is a big man's game. 100%. Here's how you figure it out. Go check his shirt tags. Did you see less than 3 X's? Nah, you can't play. I mean, you can maybe. You just gotta strategize. Use your head in this situation. Skinny people, use the bundle of sticks method. Yeah, group up and be greater than the sum of your parts. Second side note, that outer layer of sticks still going down, 100%. But if you can feel what I'm feeling, worth it. The worst thing that probably happened to me last year is one of my uncles passed away. And he actually lived in Federal Way. I was very close to him. I loved him very much, but also he stole a tape from me when I was 15 years old. And I'm not saying that that defines our relationship. I'm not even trying to make him look bad in front of y'all. I'm saying that as a warning to every uncle in this room. If you steal from your nephews, it'll be the third thing they think of when you die. Because when I got the bad news in my head, I was like, no, that's terrible. I'm gonna miss my uncle. This is horrible. That man was so wonderful to me. And what about his wife and his children? They're gonna miss him too. My family is suffering right now. He still owes me a cassette copy of Bone Thugs and Harmony's East 1999 Eternal. He was audacious when he took it too, because he was picking me up to spend the weekend with him, and along the drive home, he puts my tape in his tape deck like it's his. And my stupid ass got excited because I didn't see him in 5 years. I was like, we have the same taste in music? And we did not. We didn't, because what I like musically is afroed and braided young men from the city of Cleveland, Ohio who rap fast and harmonize on occasion. And what my uncle likes was free shit. It's two different genres. I experienced a lot of death in my lifetime. It's unfortunate. I've been to a lot of funerals, and they've been awkward since I started doing this, because my family knows I do it. And there's a point in most Samoan funerals where it says, would anyone like to come to the front and say anything about the deceased? And you will see an entire church of Samoan heads whip around in my direction. And I always go stumbling up there like, I got it. And the weirdest part about that whole situation is, I fucking crush at these funerals, you guys. Like, this is fun, this is going pretty good. This is nothing compared to me at a funeral. All right, I'm talking standing ovations. All right, people cheering my name. I swear to God, one time I was killing so hard, I was telling a story about my cousin 5 feet from his corpse, and for a second I looked over and it just felt like, it seemed like for a little bit, he was like, just for a second. Not like a full-on comeback, but he was was like, yo, I'm still gone, but that was tight. Like, it was like that. Like, I hope this goes great tonight, but I just need y'all to know, regardless of how you feel about me, I will still be the #1 Samoan funeral comic in the world. The highlight of my year last year was my youngest brother Alex had his first child. Yeah, and I was super excited for two reasons when he came around. One, I love my nephew. And two, now I can stop pretending like I give a goddamn about all those sonograms his wife had been showing me. And I'm not trying to be insensitive, it's just, those don't look like anything, all right? You can't come flipping Rorschach tests at me and expect me to go baby, baby, baby. That's not how, if you show me an actual kid's picture, I will care. All right, but I didn't even know what the fuck the first one was. I thought she just failed an art class. I put it on the fridge to make her feel better, all right? If you show me a child's picture, it will warm my heart. But if you're just coming at me with a black and white topographical map of Paraguay, I'm not gonna give a shit. It's nothing in these pictures. If I'm to believe that those were the image of the child that she was carrying, the only conclusion I can draw from that is that she cheated on my brother with a Nintendo character. Is that what I'm looking at, huh? Is that what this is? Did you sully my family's name with the penis of Super Mario? Or did you sneak behind his back and fuck a Doppler radar? What are these? But the kid showed up and he looked like us, so everything's cool. It's all copacetic. Maybe a little bit too much like us. My nephew weighed 10.5 pounds when he came out. Yeah, that's what you get when you mess around with Samoans. Yeah, a little 10.5 pound angel left heaven and just thumped down to earth like a cannonball. Upon delivery, his doctor said, "Oh, I think he might have been developing longer than I diagnosed originally." And I asked him, "Yeah, what made you think that? Is it the sideburns? Or the fact that you had to put on a weightlifting belt mid-procedure?" Here's how big my nephew is. When he slapped him on the ass to make sure he was breathing right, my nephew coughed twice and he hit the doctor back. That doctor pressed charges. They're gonna try my nephew as an adult. Later on, when they put him inside the donut display case they have for the kids, you know, the glass thing, because people want to look at a newborn like it's a moon rock for some reason. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, his feet were hanging out of his box onto the next kid's box. This is his shirt that I'm wearing right now, just to be clear on the size of my nephew. He was delivered via C-section because of course he was. Had he not been, this wouldn't be a joke. Be a sad story about how much I miss my sister-in-law. Yeah, I'd be crushing at her funeral right now. Saying shit like, you know, Alina made my brother Alex happy from the moment they met up until the moment she was torn asunder! Ironically by the product of their love. Her tombstone would have read, "Here lies Alina Pasi, beloved mother, sister, daughter, wife, crater." It would have been a tragedy. It would have been a horrible tragedy. I have another brother, his name is Tony. He has 8 children. Because that is also what you get when you mess around with Samoans. We're a virile bunch, wrap that shit up. I'm just playing, he married a Mormon lady. Yeah. Married a nice Mormon lady with semi-automatic reproductive organs. Yeah, ain't nobody banning that bump stock. She stays firing. Every year. Ow! Rapid reload. Every time. Yeah, Tony's kids crack me up. He just had his newest son was born 2 months ago. And this little half Hawaiian, half Samoan baby just looks like a racist old white man for some reason. He's got resting MAGA face. He cracks me up. He looks like he's upset about his neighbors bringing his property value down. That's the visage on my... He looks like his first word is going to be caravan. That is what my nephew... Tony's 1-year-old is probably my favorite of all my brother's children. because he's the most badass person I've ever met in my entire life. His name is Milo. And if you piss off Milo, he will stop breathing. Which is some thug shit. How far are any of you willing to go to win an argument, no matter how petty it is? Because I know a baby who will threaten his own life to not wear shoes. My brother is trying to suggest, well, it might not be that badass because maybe he's doing it involuntarily. Even more gangster. If your factory default setting is oxygen kamikaze. And here's the thing, once he takes that fuck you breath, you just gotta wait till he goes down. There's no fixing it, which is something my sister-in-law has had to make peace with. Like, she's like, yeah, this is how my kid is. Every time he gets pissed off, I just start putting soft shit on the ground around him, waiting for him to keel over. His daycare center, on the other hand, is a bit more freaked out by this situation. Because they're not used to it. This isn't there every day. So when he first started going there, my sister-in-law, on her way out the door, just to be a dick to him, said, oh, by the way, if he gets pissed off, he'll hold his breath till he passes out. Peace, have a fun day. And these people are so freaked out, or maybe it's just because they don't have 7 spare children of their own, that now my nephew just walks around that daycare center with his chest out, and there are 2 employees at all times, close enough to him to tend to his every need, but far enough away to not piss him off. He looks like a mafia don in a prison yard. My nephew's a bad motherfucker. He doesn't speak any words, and he might not ever have to. He seems to be communicating just fine. He gets his message across great without him. That message being, if you have a toy and he wants it and you don't give it to him, he'd rather you put it on his grave. And you can't try to give him the toy afterwards either. Like I said, there's no turning back. I've seen him slap a rubber ducky out of his mom's hand and then stare up at her with hate in his eyes and oxygen not in his lungs, looking up as if to say, fuck you and fuck that duck. I never want to see that duck again, which based on my actions right now is a very real possibility. You want me to have that duck so bad? Bring it to my funeral next week, stupid. Or better yet, put it on top of your dresser. That way you can wake up every morning and look at it and remember the day that your son died, blue-faced in your living room, wearing this horseshit onesie and the shoes I allowed you to put on me, lady. Some of that might be hyperbole. But this is not. Straight up, Stone Cold numbers average, he passes out 2.5 times every week. It's badass. Tony's 3-year-old is super sweet. One time we were all hanging out at my folks' place, and I had to leave for a show, and his 3-year-old was in the shower, and he heard me saying goodbye to everybody, and he didn't want to miss me. So he jumped right out the shower and chased the car down the driveway as I was trying to leave, waving his arms and yelling that he loved me and he didn't want me to go. And I pulled out of there with tears in my eyes because I didn't want to leave him. And also, I was sad because I couldn't tell him I loved him back. Because I'm not about to yell that out of a car at a naked little boy on the street. I don't care how much I love my nephew, I'm not getting put on a list for him. If I'd have done that, this wouldn't be a joke either. None of this would have been. My whole setup until this point would have just been me fulfilling my legal obligation to tell you I'm in this neighborhood right now. I do love my nieces and nephews though with all my heart. They're the most important people in my life. And I strive every day to be the best uncle I can for them. Also, I make mistakes sometimes though. And I made one of these mistakes a few weeks ago. I went to visit Alex, the one with the heavy baby, and I get there and he's lifting his arms up for me to pick him up, so I do, but I gotta use my legs. And once I get him up though, I'm so happy to be reunited with my little buddy, giving him hugs and kisses. I'm blowing raspberries into his fat little tummy, and it's going so good until I freak out, because I remember that I haven't washed my face since going down on someone the night before. got pussy beard on a 9-month-old. And now I'm afraid that I'm never gonna see my nephew again once I tell my brother what I did. I'm gonna tell my brother what I did. You understand that, right? No, I have to tell my brother what I do! You're full of smell is the strongest sense tied to memory. So what happens if my sweet nephew grows up, he gets a chance to kiss beneath the covers, but he stops halfway because he wants to know why vaginal musk reminds him of Uncle Adam? I love that boy. I'm not leaving him without these answers. Also, are you groaning with me or at me? Because one of those is going to piss me the fuck off. I'm not. This isn't bragging. I'm reaching out to you people. I am distraught right now. I'm not. What kind of monster do you think I am where I'm proud of this? What do you think? I'm just walking up to random dudes on the street saying shit like, hey bro, guess what I did last night? Smell this baby. Yeah, it's not. Ouch. Ow. I love my family a lot. I'm really tight with my dad. I like hanging out with him because me and him have I don't know if you can tell us about me thus far, we have kind of a fucked up sense of humor. For example, we were kicking it a couple weeks ago, and we were both dying laughing at how he used to hit me when I was a kid.
Oh my God.
All right, none of y'all are my dad. That's fine. You don't have to laugh at the shit that we like. It's not that. Look, I'm in the middle of the do or don't hit your kids argument. I think some kids definitely do not hit, but I think some asshole kids you have to hit because I was one of those asshole kids.
Yep.
Getting hit is the only way it's the only way I learn now. All right, maybe someone would follow me around with a stick on payday weekends. I don't have a savings account right now, all right? There is a socioeconomic aspect to people hitting their children that rarely gets addressed. People always want to say whether or not it's right or wrong, but poor families are more likely to hit their kids. That's because when your family has money, that kid has material goods that you can take away as a punishment. So if you have money, you can go in your kid's room with a straight up report card and be like, all right, you messed up. Now you can't use your Xbox, your skateboard, or you can't get on the computer or ride your bike. But if your family's impoverished, that father's just holding a bad report card in an empty room. Looking his kid in the face saying, all right, you fucked up, so now you can't use your baby teeth. Or they got less options. I will say this, I'm not bitter about getting hit. As a kid, I think it was justified. I just wish my dad would have made more differentiation in the levels of getting hit per the crimes that I committed. Because my father was an all-death penalty man. Which you might not expect this, it made me a shittier behaved kid. It depends on how early in the day I mess up. All right? Because if that dude is like a sword of Damocles hanging over my head, but it leaves me with nothing to lose at a certain point in the day. If I break a cereal bowl during breakfast, I'm gonna spend the rest of the day kicking neighbor kids in the chest and stealing candy bars, all right? Dad gets home at 5 o'clock, I need to get busy living. One time he did take it too far. I was a teenager, and I did something really shitty. I don't remember what it was, so I got my ass kicked afterward, but I trust the man. But he was whooping my ass, but I was standing up and I went down and he kicked me on the ground, and I had never in a fight or from him had that sensation of getting kicked on the ground before, and it awoke something in me. And I shot back up and I got in his face, and in that moment, using nothing but nonverbal communication, like he was ordering chicken from me, using nothing but our body language, we redefined our relationship. Because by standing up, I let him know, no, that's the line. That's the line. Look, I love you, I respect you as a father, but you're not gonna kick me while I'm on the ground. But he, man of the house, he's real old school, he's not gonna take that. So he starts squaring up on me, as if to say to me, okay, really, you ready to become a man now? So I, with all of my body, let him know at that very moment, on that very day, that no, I am not ready to become a man just yet. I'm gonna lay back down and live to see tomorrow. You go right back to soccer practice. The thing that me and him were laughing about specifically is when he used to hit me with a belt, he'd make me choose between two belts. Weightlifting belt and a regular belt. And here's the thing about a weightlifting belt. It's a thick, intimidating looking slab of leather. But also at the same time, all that surface area catches the air as it swings towards you. And it actually feels light, like a pillow, once it goes up against your ass. And I didn't know that. I'd always pick the regular belt. Until one day he couldn't find his regular belt. He's like, all right, I'll just hit you with the weightlifting belt. And I'm braced for impact. And I had at the same time be shocked about how little it hurt, be pissed about my childhood, but still act like I was in pain. Because he swung it was like flat. And I was like, are you fucking shitting me right now? And that's what we were laughing about. Slapping the table, tears in his eyes. He's pointing at me and he's going, I thought you were the dumbest kid in the world because you kept picking the most painful belt I had. And I had to explain to him, yeah, Pop, I didn't have quite the grasp on aerodynamics that I do these days. But again, this isn't bitter, this is funny. We're both laughing, we're just laughing a little differently. Because his laugh sounded normal, just like the way y'all been laughing tonight, which has been wonderful. Thank you for that. But my laugh, it sounded just like his with a little something extra. So he laughed like, ha 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 ha. I'd be like, ha 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 ha. That's why I'm a comedian now. Now whenever I'm leaving the house for a show, I hold up 2 microphones. And I say, which one of these do you want me to talk shit about you into tonight? And that jackass always picks the loudest one. I'm in a relationship right now, which is wonderful. Yeah, no, I love my girlfriend a lot. She's an atheist who believes in ghosts. Which is bullshit. You gotta pick a team. I can't really talk shit. I'm agnostic myself. You know what it means to be agnostic, right? That means your skepticism about God is matched only by your unwillingness to read. That's what an agnostic is. But at the same time, it's like she's playing 2 weird sides of the fence. I think it's dumb that you're presented with this all-powerful being and you're like, nah, there's no way that dude exists. But then someone tells you, you know, a guy named Carl got hit by a bus here in the 40s, and you're like, yeah, he must have. No, what? That's a way weaker dude to put your faith in. But also at the same time, believing in ghosts but not God, you are asking less of your supernatural forces. Yeah, because if you believe in God, you have to believe in miracles. Resurrection, walk on water, you know, the power to give a person with no mental health training the ability to start a camp that cures gayness. You know, miracles. Whereas, if you believe in ghosts, your only act of faith really has to be, did I close that closet earlier tonight? It's a less intense religion to be signed up for. I love my girl a lot, and I'm her type, by the way, which is pretty dope. I get year-round from her what everyone else just gives me in the winter. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's very convenient for me, but at the same time, it's giving me new insecurities that I'm not used to. Because in prior relationships, I'd be insecure about dudes who are in better shape than me. Like, we're watching TV and a buff dude pops up on the screen, I'll lean in and say something dumb like, well, you know he's not funny though, right? So, I'm funnier than that buff guy. But now my girl's into this body type. So now it's when fat dudes pop up on the screen. Like if we're watching The Biggest Loser or a Lost rerun, I lean in and I'm like, you know the camera adds 10 pounds though. It's probably water weight, he's bloated. He's clearly bloated. That's a fake stomach. He got the Kardashian butt implants put in the front. That is a front butt. Look at that. Hollywood front butt. By the way, these are just dumb little insecurities. I'm not a crazy, jealous boyfriend. It's not like I go acting like a lunatic every time there's other schlubby dudes around her. All right, it's not like I snatch her arm every time we walk by a comic book store or something like that. Yelling shit at her. Don't you look at no one else's sweatpants. I don't do that. I do fake choker. Yeah. Not like sexual choke sex choker. No, I fake choker. I like fun choker. Like, I never cut off her air supply, but we'll be kissing and making out, and I like to ruin tender moments, so sometimes I'll just throw my hand up and I'll go, "Where's the goal?" But she'll push my hand in and go, "I'll never tell. Do it, you coward." I'm like, "You're my soulmate. You get that, right? I love you." I can't do choke sex. I've tried it once before. I was asked to. I wasn't just running around the street like... No, I had a girl ask me to do it, and I went along with it, and I freaked out the entire time. I was so afraid I was gonna hurt her. And there's no way it was good for her too, because I don't know what the sexy choking someone face is, but I'm confident it's not this. I told her about my concerns afterwards. I said I was afraid I was gonna hurt you. She said, "Oh no, you don't have to worry about that. If you'd have hurt me, I'd have just told you that you were choking me too hard." That's when I really freaked out, because I realized she doesn't know how choking works. And this is her idea. I started yelling at her. I was like, "Gonna tell me how, you're not gonna say shit to me or anyone else ever again." I weigh 360 pounds, lady, all right? You know what you're dealing with right here? I once fell down drunk in the kitchen and karate chopped a chair, clean in half, on accident. On accident, I have no martial arts training. That is just gravity and the love of mayonnaise at work in unison. And you're gonna tell me to not choke? No, if my arm slips, your esophagus is gonna touch the floor underneath your bed. I don't like choke sex. Choking is a skinny man's game, right, front row? You can choke away. You can choke away, bro. Both hands. Put your foot on something for leverage. Go for the gusto. If you choke your girl too hard, she doesn't have to tell you anything. She can just walk you to the bathroom and get a sip of water. I do love my girl. I love her very much, and I had to overcome a lot of my own bullshit to be in this relationship. Thank you. Yeah, because I got baggage like everybody else. I've been in some bad... My last relationship was really bad and a really long time ago, and I can explain that with this sentence. She once beat me up with a cordless phone. Right? There's a lot of information, though. That's like some Hemingway short story shit. I was either dating a very unstable person in the late 90s, the early 2000s, or I was with a way too kinky for me hipster last year. One of those two things. And even aside from that, like, I've been hurt, not just by phones, but emotionally in relationships, and I've done hurting too. I've been a bad boyfriend before too, and for the longest time, I've been avoiding relationships because of that. Every time I start feeling close or I start developing real feelings for someone, I'll turn tail and run the other way, or I'll try to sabotage it somehow, and I almost did that with this one. I almost got scared with this one, but then I thought about how I felt about her, about how I really and truly felt about her, and it occurred to me, I don't care what happens to us. And that's not to say I'm not concerned with either one of our emotional well-being. What I'm saying is, being with her in any capacity for any amount of time is worth whatever comes of it. She's worth it. Thank you. Yeah, for the first time in my life, I'm able to love without fear, and it's brought me a joy like the likes of which I've never known. And I just thank you very much. I appreciate it. She gets so wet. What, we're not sharing shit all of a sudden? And you can't trust me for a minute? I just bared my fucking soul up here. And you can't for a second trust me to put some context on that stage. Unbelievable that you would treat me like this. If I was wearing a robe right now, I'd be tightening it around the front, just so you know how you made me feel just now. She gets so wet. Because these three fingers right here. Ah, that's what you get. That's a punishment. That's not what I was gonna say. I didn't come here to talk like that. You treat me like a monster, I'll be a monster though. Shame on you. All right, let's just forgive each other and move. She gets so wet. Like, you can ask my nephew. She gets so wet. It has me legitimately questioning whether or not I've truly aroused any other woman I've been with before her. Because on the one hand, it seems extra and awesome. Or were they all supposed to be like this? Because if that's the case, I've been doing a lot of shit wrong for a really long time. Either she and I are the most compatible lovers ever, or I've just been chafing my way through slightly moist pity bags for the entirety of my life. Happy late Valentine's, by the way. I'll leave y'all with this. Just before I met my girlfriend, I celebrated my 38th birthday. More specifically, I celebrated by getting drunk and making out with a male friend of mine. Which, not even that big a deal. Come on, you guys, it's 2019 in the Northwest. In addition to that, I for quite some time have believed that gender and sexuality are fluid things. Thank you, I made that up myself. I invented that. And in addition to that, I binge drink to the point where it doesn't really matter what I believe anyway, so whatever my beliefs may be, they are alcohol soluble, I can tell you that much. Yeah, Portland liberal me, conservative Christian me. Both those guys kiss the same amount of dudes after 5 shots of whiskey. I'll kiss a man, that's nothing to me. I'll kiss him on a dare, or if I think he's hot, or if he just had the last bite of something I wanted. I'll make out with a dude. My friend, on the other hand, does not feel the same way. He was taken aback. I didn't even find out about this till 2 days after it happened. He came up to me and he goes, "Hey man, just so you know, we made out on your birthday." And I was like, "Tight. Thank you for the birthday kiss. You're a sweet boy." And I put 2 fingers on his lips like this and held it there for a little bit. And then he said, "I don't think you understand. We use tongues and everything." That's when I got offended. I was like, "Yeah, dog, how do you think I kiss? I'm a grown man. What, you think I'm just tiptoeing around my own 38th birthday party? Pecking dudes on the cheek like some type of pussy? Absolutely not, sir. I came to play. Not a man of half measures." That is the difference. I will kiss a male or a female. I bring different energy to kissing a man. No. When I'm with a lady, I'm tender, compassionate, kind of searching, trying to see if there's more between us than this physical thing we're sharing right now. And I can maybe feel that when I'm kissing a guy, but what I felt while kissing every guy I've kissed is the spirit of competition. If I'm in your mouth, I'm there to fucking win, bro. Know that shit. Know it in your heart. It's closer to arm wrestling than it is anything romantic. There is something uncool about this kiss, though. It is the fact that my friend was blackout drunk when it took place. That's not cool. That's not cool. It's a violation of his rights, but also at the same time, I sort of think it's a super high-level act of feminism on my part. Because, all right, I'll explain it to you misogynists. It's full of misogyny. Feminism is the fight for equality, is it not? And in that fight, one of the goals is we want less creepy things to happen to women, but we're not there yet as a people. So I say in the meantime, to break it a little even, let's do some creepy shit to these dudes. A drunken handsy me can be justice if you point me in the right direction. It's like Republican gun theory. How do you stop a shitty dude from hitting on you too aggressively? Send a shittier dude to hit on him more aggressively. I've seen people at shows storm out because there was someone on stage saying something insensitive regarding sexual assault. That is absolutely your prerogative. But I'd like to present a second option. That is for you to buy me 5 shots of whiskey. And I'll give that boy some perspective. You guys have been so amazing. Thank you for supporting live comedy. Have a wonderful night. can't go on for